Bonsoir, comment vas-tu? J'espère que tu vas bien. Je suis la Melody. Bienvenue sur mon chaîne. I'm the Hoodoo Queen. Welcome to my channel. And welcome to Come to Me Spells, Attraction Spells. I thought it would be a good, beautiful idea to provide a free class that correlates with your past community service. The past community service, you were blessed to have the Come to Me oil, which is not your Vinimois oil per se. If you smell the general Vinimois oil versus this one, it smells different because they are different. Um, and some other great things that we'll talk about. But before we get into all of those things, I must first ask you to please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, leave a sweet, kind comment below, notification buttons, and please share the video. This evening, I would love it if we sort of had a very symbiotic relationship tonight. Q&A. If you have very specific questions on how to bring something to you utilizing your Vinimois oil or your Come to Me oil, because we're going to bring our focus to the oils this evening and just some things that you may want to think about in regarding your own workings. But before we get into that and before I begin to answer questions for you, um, I want to communicate two things. The very first thing is you all should be receiving your April community services. We did ask for grace and understanding as the conjure did throw us off with shipping and those things. And that is with everything from personal work to our community services to just our regular things that need to be going out. However, um, I can almost count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I would probably say maybe there may be 10, maybe less than 20 orders perhaps that still need to go out. Um, but shipment is working overtime, double time, almost to the point I told them, hey, look, you probably need to do something else because you're running yourself into the ground. I do got to remind people it's only two of us that work the operations, and that's it, unless my mother or someone else helps with spiritual work. Outside of that, it's just two of us that works the day-to-day operations, and then there's one virtual assistant that we have. So there's that. I also want to communicate about this. I mentioned this maybe once a year because I don't do these to eyebubble. Um, I don't say these things to try to like um, instill fear in anybody, but this is very important. If I do personal work for you, if I'm doing general work for you, you will always get your work. I may say, and I've said this before, it may take 21 days. Well, guess what? That 21 days may take 2 months. That 21 days may take 14 days. But the point about that is, and the reason why I communicate this when it comes to spiritual work, custom spiritual work, is because when I do the work, it works. And the reason it works is because I'm very meticulous about when I do my work. I'm never going to do work when I'm in a position to where I'm scattered. Sometimes work has to pause because, say, for example, you got me doing love work and I'm not having the best day in my relationship and I just want everybody to burn up in flames, you don't want me touching your love work. Clear about that. But beyond that, there are, in fact, ethical contracts with spirits that I work with. Okay? There are spiritual, divine, ethical pacts and contracts that I make with spirits. Whenever I do my spiritual work with everybody, no matter if it, well, especially if it's custom, everyone knows if you had custom work done for me, I don't have set rates. I allow the spirits to speak to what they desire. And I show my customers how I do that so that they understand. So, we're about to have a full circle moment. So, when I say, there's $100 working, the spirit may request $50. So I take that 50 and I put it in the grave site. The other 50 is going to go to your jars, your herbs, whatever unsubscribed being that may have to be unsubscribed, who knows? Okay, goes to that. So when you decide to do a dispute via PayPal or whatever financial institutes you want to do, understand, understand this. You're not breaking your pact with me alone. You are also taking from the mouth of the Spirit that is supposed to be blessing you. So when you go, well, I don't think this is fast enough, and I don't think this, and da 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 da, and you do that, you now have an issue with the spirit beyond my control, because I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. But when you decide to go that route, it is not on me, it's not on any Conjure South affiliate or anything. Whatever accountability that must be held will be held with you. Because I take care of my part. The thing about it is the spirit said, you know what? I asked for $50. Now for Queen, we don't want $50. I need you to come out here for 9 weeks. I need peppers, rice, dog food, and some hair. I need that for 9 weeks from you. But from them, this is what I want. This is what I need. So when you do those kind of things, just understand that's like why my email responses, I'm like, hey, look, I don't encourage you to do what you want to do. Give me X amount of days to figure out things. So I make sure that everything is done correctly. You get your instructions and all of that. But if your impatience overrides your blessings, just know that your impatience will come with a spiritual price tag that I didn't set. If you have been with me for a while, and normally these are new people that just go, oh my goodness, I see all the things you're doing. Boom, I want my work done. And it's like, you got to understand the reason this girl is now married to this man is because it didn't take a day. It didn't take 2 days. It didn't take 3 months. We slowly built up and got her what she wanted, but it took time. But she moved with faith. It's why Miss Valencia has what over $150,000 worth of lottery wins and different things of that nature. And I understand that as a new client, that can become worrisome, frustrated because you may have been burned. My family's name is too precious to jeopardize the legitimacy of it. Okay? Um and and again, I don't even make it a personal thing because, as the people heard from the conjure fact, when things get personal, it doesn't take much for us to rectify what we feel is justice. You know, but I just wanted to communicate that. So I want to say thank you to everyone that has given us grace and patience and understanding um, post conjure fact. It was funny because one of my students go, well, Queen, like, what do you need? And what can we do? I said, I honestly just need grace. If I could have like a good, solid month or two of grace, I would be so happy. But I don't have that luxury due to the exploitation of business in the spiritual community. Um, which is why it took me up until last year, took me 10 years before I even took one vacation. Um, and that was an incredible vacation. I love the vacation, but I had to come back to the reality of, gotta hit the ground running kind of deal. So there's that. All right. So thank you all for your kindness, for your patience, for your understanding, and just a little bit of that spiritual worker education that you need if you're stepping into this space newly and you don't know. This is just me giving you knowledge and information, okay? Well, you deserve a vacation each year. I would love a vacation each year. And even when like we do have the opportunity to go spaces, is normally for works. I don't think we have had one time in this household that we have gone to the beach without it being spiritually related. Um, so moving forward, moving forward, with your community services, the April community services, I wanted to show you. You are going to learn in the replayable video how to actually conjure a living point or spirit. Now, in the video, I talk about you hanging these up, and these are actually hung up in, you can do it in cloth, but also you can do it in rope. And I didn't show you how to do it in rope um, because I also, growing up, seeing these, they weren't, if they were in jars, they were in cloth. But most of the times that I saw them, they were in bottles. So you were able to tie a bottleneck. Um, you can tie a bottleneck and hang these a lot easier. But if you have a jar, you actually are going to want to probably um, use cloth and then tie the cloth. Otherwise, if it was like a bottle, you can actually put the string or thread around the neck and hang it in that way and do maybe like 2 or 3 strings so that it's nice and firm. Um, thank you so very much. Um, so that that is something I wanted to mention though. But when I tell you, and I'm going to tell you this, you're going to see this and you're going to see the video and you're going to learn how to make your living money spirit as well as a living attraction or sweetening spirit. So You'll have one that has sweetener on the top, and then one has a money spirit on the top. And I will show you how to make these. These are good normally up to a year. The spirits that you're going to learn to work with is a spirit that teaches you how to plant a crop and not a seed. See, our community services are seeds that manifest within a month, maybe 2 or 3 months. These kind of workings is a crop that you learn to plant that takes a year. So you're talking about, I want to get 20 acres of land. That's what you put in this one. Oh, I'm trying to have that successful marriage, not a successful wedding. Well, actually, this one. Oh, I'm wanting to have that particular promotion, or I want to become the partner. Hello, Emily. I want to become the partner to this business. I need my whole house to thrive in opulence. Everybody's going in this drive for a year. And so you're going to learn how to do that. That's why the community services are unmatched. That's why they are unmatched, because you learn to do these kind of things. And also, at this point, I don't have any other choice but to teach you how to make, how to start working with living spirits. This is an introduction to a living spirit. Um, and then we'll begin to learn unworldly living spirits. So these Tia are not for protection. One is for prosperity, and the other one is sweetening. Okay, but but I will consider. Um, Josie, don't start running. Um, yes, I do know what you mean, Nix. Unfortunately, so there's that. I want to share with you all one more thing, and then um, I'm going to share with you all one more thing. Sarah M. So that's where the protection oils is the thing that keeps me safe right now. I tell you, the protection oil by itself that we sell in the store that's like 30 something bucks. That thing, hey Shaymac, hey Tanisha, that thing right there is something else. I have some love muffins over in London who uses my protection oil every single morning. And one morning she says, Queen, I was using your oil. I use it every day. And um, just so happened, I put on your oil and I actually did not, I normally go a particular way or whatever else. She didn't go this particular way this time. But there was a bomb under a bridge that she was redirected from. I'm going to see if I can find that message. Oh, I just got these. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, I'm going to show you guys this, and then I'm gonna get to the class. I found the the DM. Oh, I thought I found it. I know I found the person. I'm going to try this one more time before I. Here it is. This was I just want to show you guys. Cause and this is why I tell people like the work works. Just please be patient and those kinds of things. I will let y'all read this. So the protection oil on its own will do enough. And that's just the $30 oil. So there's that. Um oh, one with this attraction word besides vin vin to pair with, what else would be a good substitute? So let's come back to that question. Speaking of protection, the work you did for my mom and did for us protected us from a car accident. Grateful for you and Mama Ann, and I enjoyed. Oh, thank you so very much. Yes, I tell you, my mother's Ashe is unmatched. It is unmatched. And actually, we talked today, and she said that she may. She said she may open up shop, meaning she may start taking clients. But I don't know. And if so, I would be so grateful. I would be so grateful if she. Oh my goodness, what a blessing that would be. So yes. So, but she literally just mentioned that today when we talked. But yes, so the last thing I want to mention really quick, and this again is just me being a giver. You all know that I was talking about I would love for her to teach a class. I will see, with her being open to to taking clients, I don't see why she wouldn't teach a class. If you all wanted her to teach a class, what class would you like for her to teach? Um, it's okay. It's okay. Kanan mother. This is me listening. Me listen to Mama Ann's voice. Aw. Um. So last thing, so we can get into tonight's class. All right. I told you all that I was really feeling um a charge to do a retreat or to do some type of free event. However, because I do need to make sure of um, because I do need to make sure that I do have like a list of people who are present, a list of people who are present. Um, I decided, instead of doing this just free and just email us here, that I'm going to give you all a donation retreat. The donations are as low as $26 and as high as $44. And this is our retreat. This is the summer donation summer retreat. And the link is over in the description box. This will start on the day of graduation, the actual graduation of the Conjure South Hoodoo Institute. We're going to be discussing water spirits because the graduation is normally done at the ocean, anyways. So we'll have graduation and then we'll go right into class. Then from there, we'll take a break and we'll move over to the bayou. And then that Monday on the 28th, we'll shimmy over to the bay to a private beach and just begin to give you guys some different experiences surrounding water spirits that you may or may not know, some water deities and entities that you may or may not know, how to begin to build a relationship with them, and also begin to really journal your experiences so that you are very much aware of um, how this looked in your life for your lineage. Okay. Um, so that is what I'm going to do this summer. Again, I was called to do it. I always tell you guys I do what the ancestors tell me to do. I don't know necessarily the um I don't know necessarily the purpose behind it, but this is going to be incredibly easy, very very solid, very um very very simple. You know, if there are things that you'll need, there'll be an email that goes out that says bring flowers here or bring fruit here or whatever else. But this gives you an opportunity to see the graduation, see what graduation is about, but also not the stress of a whole lot of moving parts. But just gives you a great opportunity to be with me in these natural spaces, but also getting firsthand experience on what you should be experiencing. Okay. So that is available. Graduating students of this current year, the institute students of this year, you don't need to do a donation because you will already be here. Okay. So just keep that in mind. All right, everybody, let's get to class now. All right, so we are going to bring our focus tonight to our Venez-moi oil or our Come to Me oil. Now, a lot of times individuals get very misled um, by the idea of venez-moi, come to me, venez-me, specifically in hoodoo. Let me just stick to my hoodoo. I'm not going to go into the Spanish aspects of it unless you are talking about Afro Latin spaces. Venez-moi oil is my secret weapon. The venez-moi oil literally just it literally translates into come to me. Venez-moi, you come to me, is what it really says. And so when you have your venez-moi, this is for attraction. Most people within the hoodoo community, though, will use the venez-moi for love workings, but it can be used beyond love matters. Now, I'm going to tell you, there is nothing more versatile than an oil. Candles are beautiful, but you can only burn candles in spaces. Incense are great, but you can only burn things. But oils, they are usable in so many different ways. Venez-moi, again, can be utilized for a variety of things, not limited to just love workings. All right? Not limited just to love workings. And I do want to say this as well. Another big part of the reason why I'm doing the donations, again, is so that I can have a list of names. There are some individuals that are not allowed just due to um, safety precautions and all those kinds of things. I'm incredibly protective of my space, so I need to always have a roster of individuals to say yay, nay, etc., sending you a refund back, because I just have to make sure that my spaces are A1. Um, I made someone who got on my nerves to come to me so they could cross a trap. Exactly. So you can utilize it, but again, we have a incredible student here that is well educated. You have the ability to do that. You have the ability to utilize the oils in that way. And so tonight I want to show you a couple of different ways. I also would love for you to provide particular questions. So, one of the ways that I do want to tell people, one of those beautiful ways that people no longer really work, but should be working, is you take your venez-moi oil, okay, anoint your thread or string. Now, you can also spit on the thread and string first to put your DNA, so whomever you give this to, they come to you. You take this knot or string. So, for example, I don't think I have it. I think it's upstairs. But your thread. So, say I would take this thread and I would sew it in a cap or a hat to the person that I want to come to me, so that I'm on their mind. I can sew that into their hat or a cap or somewhere along those lines. A toboggan, for example. I'm crocheting, any of those things. Taking the thread and sewing it into a gift, a bear, a pillow, a scarf, um, a shirt, replacing a button on a shirt with your worked thread. Again, this is why I love oils, because they're so versatile in that way. Another way that we would do this, a little spicy, you would take the thread and your venez-moi oil after putting your sexual fluids on these, okay? Put your sexual fluids on it, your venez-moi oil, and you would sew this maybe into the pants or the underwear of the person. Again, if it's just thread, now this is too thick, of course, but if it is thread, you can easily put a piece of thread in someone's panties or underwear, or in the crotch of their pants. All right. You can also easily take that thread. If you want to bring someone to your space, get a thread from their shirt or their socks or their shoestring. Take this, put your oil on it, sew it into your mattress, and they will come to your room. They will come to your bed. You can just take that exact same object and sew it at your front door, nail it at your front door, and they will come to your home. But these are just a variety of ways that you can utilize your vinaigrette oil, utilizing thread in that capacity. All right. Another thing that you oil. Any questions about that type of working? Any questions about that type of working before we move on? Do we need to use any kind of stitching? No particular kind of stitching. However, Kristen, because you did ask this question, I do want to make this point. You can sew it in for what it is and be done. But then, but then, say for example, you have a living spirit on your thread, because you can put a living spirit on a thread. You can consecrate, my conjure fed individuals, you can consecrate particular things with living spirits. And when you begin to thread unite as you go along, can anybody tell me what those knots would be as you are creating those knots? Yes, ZMAC, a washcloth, a dishcloth, vows, exactly, Idris, exactly. Promises, vows, these are your pacts with the spirits. So if I consecrate this with the living spirit, I can then go, say for example, they owe me money. I want them to pay me now. Pay me now. Make sure they pay me now, and I will feed your spirit with molasses. One, feed your spirit with the molasses. Two, and every night, every stitch is in fact a vow. That many weeks, that many days, whatever it is. And so that's what this would provide with the knots and the back stitching, back stitching in that way. Okay. So that is one way that we can anoint our threads. We can also consecrate our threads. I'm gonna keep that thought to myself. I'ma sew on his bonnet. Exactly. Merci, divine, dynamic divine readings. Merci beaucoup. Thank you so very much. You are so kind for your super stickers. Um, Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. All up in his dreams. Exactly. Do the not correlate with days? It can. So, say for example, you do 9 nights, that can be 9 days, but that's your vow or promise to that living spirit. But if you're just working the person without a living spirit, then it's just the work that you're fixing them is what it is at that point. Of course, cinnamon spice, no worries. So, forward, moving forward, we then have our candles, of course. Is Papa Jim a living spirit or High John? Both of those are living spirits. Both of those are living spirits. Those are folk spirits. So these are your entities. So, yes, you can, in fact, High John. You can, in fact, Papa Jim. I have missed these classes, but I've been putting in the work behind the scenes. Kirsten, I've seen you. I've seen you on stage doing your thing. I can sew this into something that a child would carry to my target. Exactly. Exactement. Exactly. I mean, it's so many easy things that you can do. Um, anyways, that may be a coven discussion. It may be a coven discussion because I'm like, I can tell you how to put this and that and send it to baby daddy's house and put this over here and send this to baby mama house. You know, um, oh my, the joy it brings me. Like just think about. I just I have to give you this one. I'm so sorry. I have to give you this one. But honestly, you can take um like compelling oil, more than vanilla oil. Take the compelling oil, mix it with the alcohol of a person that struggles with alcohol addiction. And say, for example, you get out of their car with that thread, you stitch it into their seat, and you don't have to stitch into the seat. You literally just put the thread in it, stick it through the seat. Therefore, it's stuck there. And they will um, end up getting a DUI or drink and drive, have a car accident through matters of alcohol. It's just like very simple, very easy things. Um, oh my gosh, like, all right, I'm gonna give you another one. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So, say for example, you take a living spirit, like a spirit of a dead individual, you consecrate the situation with that stuff, whatever you're using, and you place it in like their hat or their pillow, and the dead will worry their hat. They will go insane. The dead will follow them in that capacity. Anyways, that's enough. That's enough that I'm giving for this one. um, so the plot thickens. Yes. Oh, thank you so very much, Aisha. I appreciate you greatly. But there's just a lot of different things, and like the working that my mom told you guys about how the guy took the lady's hair and just put it between two particular rocks and smashed it together, and she went crazy. It's like these things are so simple. Part two in the coven, I think so. I do think I'm just gonna go in the coven and give you guys the working after dark kind of deal. Is what I'll probably end up doing. So, moving on. Candle. So, of course, come to me um, in the most general, basic way, taking the oil, pulling it up. Okay? Lighting the candle, and I'm going to tell you this is where things can become disappointing. Okay? See, the truth is everyone isn't born or gifted with the ability to conjure. And even if you do have the ability to conjure, you may not be able to conjure in every way. You must have the ability to compel or to summon the gift of tongue for this work. To use the come to me oil, place it in your candle holder, light it, and speak to who and or what you want to come to you is a very easy way. But it really depends on the level of ashe that you have that makes the difference. If you have heavy ashe when it comes to speaking, this is going to be your Tanishas, your Shaymax. Um, these are going to be your individuals that can do this with no issue. My mother, okay? So you have that way of working. You then have the other way of working of actually anointing the wick, lighting the wick, and then placing your target into the flame. You take their hair, put in the flame. Take their business card, put in the flame. Um, Take their pencil, shred it up into shreddings, put it into the flame. A variety of different things you can use. And I don't be halfway believing it when I say it, because you will always get half of what you ask for. Exactly. Exactly. And don't be halfway believing when you say it. And Kirsten is another one, in fact, that had to learn in the institute. You know what? If I'm gonna say this thing, let me say it. Let me say it so it is done. You know. But that's what I love about the institute, because it does in fact show you your gifts, your abilities, but it also teaches you that thing of, oh, this is how I need to do this kind of deal. I can't wait to get back in the institute. The conjure fet gets us off a little bit, but next week we hit the ball rolling again. So there's that. So from this one, we also need to remember. Now I know, yes. Let me put this down because I'm so glad I put this top back on. Um, the other thing is understanding the beauty of anointing multiple objects. But one of those great objects you should be anointing is boots for roots. Okay? Boots for roots. So, literally taking your venimois oil to the person that you want to come to you, you need to put something of yours so you can lick your finger and then the oil and place on the shoe in across. So they come down your roads. All right. I literally fixed someone's shoe last night. Good job, Isaac. Merci. Merci beaucoup. Le bout. All right. So that's one way. But you do want to make sure that you make a crossroads and not an X, because you don't want to cross the situation. You want them to come to you. You don't want to stop them. You want them to come to you. All right? In that regards. In that regards. So, the next thing, again, is how you want to, or items you can use. You can simply anoint your own hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My hands are now anointed. And when I go to the person that I am particularly wanting, I touch them. I speak to them. I place my hands on them. Okay? I potentially take a little bit of the dirt from my home or dust. For those that know. Okay? I'm going to anoint, and then I ask for a pencil or something, and now I give it to you, because now I have fixed this pencil for you to come to me, or I fixed this pen or the piece of paper, etc. You know, when I was telling you guys, um, when my mother was here for the fat, and we were talking about how oh yes, I mean, shoe workings are the best. And I need to go back to the shoe working actually. But how I ended up fixing the mayor, his wife, his assistant, the city lawyer, and 2 businesses in Alex City, it was all by the way of me giving them things. Every single one of them. I gave them a fixed object. Now you in jail and on the news, and you caught up in a scandal with adultery and on a dating site with individuals and so forth and so on. But all of that had something to do with me fixing an object and giving it from my hand to yours with love, my pleasure, your pleasure. Listen, baby, that spell oil and massage oil. Listen, y'all better calm down with these oils. People are gonna call you who doing and call you who diddy. You don't want to be that, okay? Don't do that. Um, I do want to go back to the shoe of it all. Also understanding customarily in hoodoo specifically, or not even hoodoo, but just African American custom for New Year's, turning the shoe inward into your home at the door will bring someone in. Turning the shoe outward will send someone out. Okay. The spell, I mean, in between Shay Mac, I almost said something, I almost gave away some things. In between Shay Mac's spell experience and Iceberg being chased down during Mardi Gras by any breeding being, the spell oil is something. It is something serious. Someone's getting a new pen tomorrow. Yes, as they should. Um, the th- the thread, the candle, the shoe. Again, it's just a matter of the items that you want. I mean, like to simply fix this and place some oil up under here and gift it to somebody. It's easy. It's very, very easy to work with oils, which is why I want to start with oils. The next video I do, which should be a pre-recorded video, will be about how to work these to work with this, but in another capacity. Whether it's with just the candles or just like candle work only, not utilizing the oil, or um, and some other like baths and other things of how to use this. But anyways, I do hope you all enjoyed this. I do want to remind everybody that I am providing a hoodoo donation summer retreat. It's just a 2-day water spirit retreat. It's an introduction to the it's an invitation to the graduation of the students. um we are going to do some working at the ocean, and then we're going to go to the bayou and the bay and do working over those 2 days. And it's donation based. Prices as low as $24, as high as $44. Yes. And if we end up having quite a number of the alumni for the summer retreat situation of it all, um, we will we may end up doing like a dinner or something like that. And I don't know that I have this here or not. I don't have it here. But we do have the working ritual weekend. The working ritual weekend cabins, I think there may be 2 more cabin spots available, but then there are general tickets available. So keep that in mind as well. Thank y'all so very much for watching this evening. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon, possibly Sunday. Be on the lookout for your April community service replayable video of learning how to work and learning how to conjure a living spirit that works up to a year for sweetening and prosperity. Thank you so very much for watching this evening. It's been my pleasure. Um, where the Peters cabins at? Oh my gosh. Y'all better be good. Have a blessed one, everybody. See you next time. Merci. Share the video.